Hey, how are you? Take 3 outside. If you count what I've done this morning, it's probably about take 10. Right, so my first day on ADHD medication, Concerta. I'm on the lowest dose, 18 milligrams. That's what they start you on. And I was up just after 7, which is late for me on a Sunday, actually. I'm usually up much earlier than that. And I had something to eat because you have to take it with food. And I had the tablet at 7:15, and then was clock watching because the effects should be felt somewhere between 45 and an hour and a half after taking it. So I was paying very close attention to what was going on within me, and I didn't have a coffee. I just had a hippie tea, and I was a bit grumpy about that. But that went after about 15 minutes. So is that the effects of the methylphenidate beginning to work, or was it just I got onto terms with not having a coffee this morning? After 45 minutes, I noticed that things were quietening down in there. And then after an hour, pretty much silence. It was just silent. And other than when I meditate and I have to focus on that, and it's only for a few minutes before I go to sleep, I've never really experienced that. And here we are, almost 5 hours in, and it's still quiet. So I'm feeling more focused. I've been able to focus on one thing at a time, not flit between 20 and miss stuff. And I've remembered things I've forgotten. So I've still forgotten some stuff this morning, but then I've remembered I've forgotten it, rather than just forgetting that I forgot it, if that makes sense. So yeah, more focused. I do actually feel more confident, so I'm not feeling any of the potential side effects of it. I spoke about some of them yesterday, and a couple I didn't mention is people can experience feeling thirsty, so a dry mouth, and it can suppress your appetite. However, given that I ate this morning and I don't normally have breakfast when I get up, I am now starving. So thus far, no ill effects. And it's really cool. I do feel more confident as well, which is, I had seen that reported as a potential. It's not a definite given, but for some reason I just feel more confident, and it's just easy to focus on, like, the scenery, for instance, rather than what normally happens is I have to make myself be aware of it, whereas now I just am. So the effects should last somewhere between 8 and 12 hours, and I won't know because this is my first day, and until later on.
So
What happens is it's a slow release, so there's no sort of massive come up, if you want to call it that, and there's no crash. As it dissipates from your system later in the day, I will no doubt begin to notice, because normal service will be resumed in my head. And what I'm hoping, as I mentioned yesterday, certainly during the working week, is that I won't get that crash that I get in the evenings around about 7 o'clock, because I've always found it really hard to concentrate on what I need to concentrate on at work. But I'll know more about that in the week. So 7 days on this dose, then I go up to 36 milligrams. So they get you used to it, your body a bit used to it first. And I did have high hopes it would work for me. I'm not going to say exactly why. I probably have the video deleted. Suffice to say, my cousin Steve and my mate down in Bish would be none too pleased if they knew why I thought this type of medication might work with me. One night many years ago, whilst traumatised, all I'll say is it did not have the effect that I thought it was going to have. I felt calm and what I perceived as normal. So is this how you normal people think? It's just quiet in there? Is that how it is for you? Is that how it, that's not how I've been for 58 years. So I'm enjoying it, but I'm having to get used to it, because for me it's unusual. But it is really good. It's peaceful in my head, and I can choose what I want to think about, choose what I want to do. I did realise this morning, I was messaging Binty because he kicked this whole thing off in 2019, asking me if I was ADHD, and so I was messaging him this morning, and at the same time I was listening to one of Chris Binch's podcasts on the old Paratrooper podcast, and it occurred to me halfway through typing the message to Binty that I was able to focus on what I was typing whilst listening to the podcast, whereas ordinarily what was being said while I was typing I wouldn't have heard. It just goes in and then goes down a big black hole. So yes, it's good. So there's no, as I say, no ill effects. I'm not feeling anxious, I'm not feeling irritable. As I say, just more focused, a bit more confident, and enjoying the quiet. So if you think you might have ADHD, get you sent to your GP, get your point across. It took me 3 or 4 attempts up here to get my point across to the GP, despite having been referred down in Plymouth, and despite the autism report saying I'm highly likely to also have ADHD, which turned out to be true. And then get yourself through the referral process. And my recommendation would be go down the right to choose route. And my experience of ADHD, see, I'm not completely fixed. ADHD 360 has been absolutely outstanding. And so from the referral going off from the GP, once I completed that referral form, and being sent to ADHD 360. Oh my God! What's the one thing you can't say while you're on Concerta? I can't say ADHD anymore. Well, that's funny. But it took just under 2 months to get to. Well, it's about 2 months now. So highly recommended. Go down the right to choose route. You can't just go to your GP and say, I think I've got ADHD, give me meds. There's a whole referral process you have to go through. The medication is strictly controlled, which is why you have to have a diagnosis before you can be prescribed it. Okay, but there we are. It's brilliant. That's all I can say. Enjoy your Sunday. I'm gonna sit down somewhere out here and push in the baguette and the pasty that I bought from the bakers, because that side effect of suppression of appetite, not on Pete. So yeah, if you're struggling, reach out, just keep going, and if someone's not getting it, try a different angle, because you'll get there. See you later.